Barstool Sports is one of the biggest internet media companies in the world. Hundreds of shows, millions of followers, billions of views, covering every topic on the internet. Over the last 20 years, Dave Portnoy has transformed the company from a newspaper in Boston to a media powerhouse that can now create high-end content that rivals traditional media. But there is one frontier that they have yet been able to conquer: the film industry. I've been a fan of Barstool Sports for over a decade and a half, and I've been asking myself the same question every day. Why hasn't Barstool Sports made a feature film? When I was hired 3 years ago to work at Barstool, I made it my mission to answer that question. This is my journey to making the first Barstool Sports feature film.
And then we got this show, the longest running show we've ever had. And the producer, this kid, Michelangelo. That's his fucking name.
Michelangelo,
who looks like he's 17 and has been to this company. I've never even seen him or heard of him. Like, what is he doing?
Where is the audio? We didn't have it. Again, is that on you, Michelangelo? This is on you, Michelangelo, right?
You told fucking Michelangelo.
Michelangelo's scooting around, just cleaning stuff. Rather than making documentaries on yourself, why don't you make sure that I have the stuff I need? And then in your free time, you can make documentaries about yourself. From now on, Michelangelo's the guy. If something's not right, it's like, Michelangelo, what are you doing? Like, this is ridiculous.
Michelangelo, he's like, hey, how about that weather today?
At least the weather's better today.
But I never thought it would be this hard. No matter how hard this journey was going to be, though, making movies has been my dream since the beginning. So I wasn't going to let anyone stop me. After hearing the words I'd waited for what felt like a lifetime for,
Michelangelo, full-time job.
I set off on the side during non-work hours to try to improve my relationship with my dad by trying to make a mafia movie with him.
It wasn't family, it was your friend! You're such a piece of shit!
And because of the resources and people I was now surrounded by, I realized that there was no time better than the present to finally take a shot at making a real movie at Barstool Sports. But every good movie needs a good story. And I didn't know any. Until I really got to know visionary Barstool blogger Frank the Tank Fleming.
Let's go make a movie, Frank.
all right.
I had already been aware of Frank as a prominent hot dog and soda reviewer who rose to national fame from a viral video of him publicly eviscerating the railroad system responsible for making him miss the start of a Mets game.
Because you are incompetent! Incompetent!
Tank and I first crossed paths just after he got hired full-time and I started as producer of the Dave Portnoy Show.
Are we ready for Frank?
We can bring him in. We'll bring him.
I thought you said
Come on in,
Frank's,
Frank.
Frank's now? I thought you said...
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Bring it on. We're just, listen, the thing is, we're just throwing it in.
Welcome, Frank.
Hey, how's it going?
So far, so good, I think. It's been a long time coming. We were glad that we could give him a job, and there's my dad. But yes, so I think so far it's been pretty well.
And Tank, how are you enjoying it?
Well,
Do you miss the courthouse at all? Are you happy you're here?
I don't miss the courthouse at all.
But our relationship really took off when, after helping Tank digitize a trove of VHS tapes of short films he had made in college, I realized that, like me, Tank had got bit by the filmmaking bug early on.
Who do you think killed him? And why?
Who knows?
God rest his soul.
I I know that there's a beautiful film in Frank's head, and that if we awaken the movie-making magic within it and manage to work well together, we could have a chance to bring a truly unique movie masterpiece to the silver screen at Barstool Sports.
Look out! What the hell?
Why don't you get our guests comfortable?
Yes.
Small talk.
How are you, Frank?
All right.
The first thing I felt we needed to do to start this journey on the right foot would be to get in touch with our earliest movie inspirations. Mine were Austin Powers, The Mask, and Goodfellas.
So let's get into it, Frank.
All right.
Frank, can I ask you if there are any standout moments from growing up where you saw a movie that changed you?
No, I don't think I did.
This wasn't the start we were hoping for, but Frank's passion for film emerged upon him breaking out into a spontaneous Star Wars impression that rocked my world.
Unleash your hatred. Your anger gives you focus. It gives you energy. It makes you stronger. Unleash your hate.
Wow. Fucking goosebumps. Goosebumps. So that was Darth Vader?
No. No.
That was the Emperor. Fuck! That was the Emperor.
And Frank's confession about another one of his favorite films led us to our first breakthrough of the process.
I always like the part where everyone dies in the departed.
Frank, I think this is gonna be a dark film.
Our movie now had its theme. Now that we knew we wanted to make a dark film, I thought we'd need to go deeper into the darkness of the unknown within ourselves to try to write a plot that had the kind of authenticity that would make our movie worth watching.
Character, yeah. Frank, who are you?
I'm Frank the Tank, a former court clerk turned blogger.
This might be a little deep. I'll just say from my own standpoint, my motivation in life is to make movies and make films that make people feel good. What would you say your main motivation in your life is?
I don't know. I really don't know.
What I do know is that Frank enjoyed the filmmaking process in the past, and that by reuniting him with it, we could discover something truly beautiful on our path to bringing the first movie to Barstool Sports.
I'll just ask you point blank, what kind of movie would you like to make?
It might be good to do maybe like an old-fashioned like film noir type of thing. Like an old, washed out private investigator who's just like totally incompetent and just dumb.
Frank does believe he's cursed.
Seamus Fleming, his uncle from Ireland, bought a potato farm the day before the famine.
Which might make the production of all of this even harder.
Moved to New York and put all his money in the stock market the day before it crashed.
I have never won a scratch off!
But one thing was known in this moment. We would do whatever it takes to get past the obstacles, the curses, the odds against us. We would do whatever it takes to share our love of movies with the audience of Barstool Sports. And that would start with writing a character that Frank would be passionate about playing. So, I said the word sports.
All right, maybe former offensive lineman. Best known for getting 4 quarterbacks crippled. I want his offensive line nickname to be Lookout, and it would be Lookout Detective Agency. And the reason why his nickname is Lookout is because he'd often be slow off the line, and I go, look out!
The most important thing is giving the protagonist a drive. What happens at the beginning of this film that sends him on the journey that we're gonna follow him for the next however many scenes?
That he got fired. Or how about this? That I'm security at this big political fundraiser.
Frank built out a backstory where his character was let go from the police force for failing to detect a firearm at a political rally.
Look out!
Ah! Yeah, okay.
I got germaphobe, but I don't actually like touching people.
So we do have to figure out though a way, like a redemption tale. I think we have to have that one case where you find more motivation to solve this case than you've ever had.
That is the most valuable bobblehead in the world.
Oh yeah. So this is like the Maltese Falcon.
Yes.
The Maltese bobblehead.
Yes. I got 2 Robinson Cano bobbleheads.
Whatever's near and dear to you.
And just like that, we had our script's premise. A common man underdog on a road to redemption.
I like that.
A premise that we think could reinvent the genre and awaken a new filmmaking force at Barstool Sports.
I'm Frank Fleming, and this is Masterpieces.
I am Michelangelo, and this is Masterpieces. We're gonna make a movie, Frank.
Yes, we are.
We're gonna make
Yes, we are.
movie.
I never thought having too many ideas could be a problem until I looked at my notes from our first writing session. So I planned another writing session, this time in a much more inspiring location, as well as an activity for afterwards that would help continue getting our juices flowing. We're in Williamsburg, Greenpoint area. I got my book here on screenwriting. We're gonna go through a couple of the details and try to flesh out a more full story. Let's check in on Frank. How we feeling?
Feeling good. Feeling good. Trying to get the inspiration. I mean, simple filmmaking that you just don't do anymore. There's not a movie made where something doesn't blow up anymore.
Well, we're gonna have some explosions in our movie.
But that's true.
All right, so we're gonna head out to this dock and get to it. So far, we'd already established that Frank would be playing an incompetent, down-on-his-luck private investigator in a gritty film noir period piece. It would center around Frank's pursuit of a stolen bobblehead and corruption involving Big Soda and the governor of New York, who would hopefully be played by one of Barstool's most legendary characters, Dan Big Cat Katz. But before we could get to work, Frank took some time to explain to me the origin story of the Mets logo, pointing out that the bridge was the bridge in the logo, and the buildings were the buildings. And then, you ready to get into it a little bit?
Yes.
We were ready to write.
The bobblehead is possessed by a demon. A demon that is trying to take over the world by going through the politicians' Like Big Cat. Big Cat is his minion. Big Cat answers to the bobblehead, but have like a voice. Yes, indeed.
Okay. Maybe we could cast like Stu Finer to be the devil.
Fucking dead man! You're right!
So yeah, then Big Cat owes the bobblehead, and that's what sets off the crime.
Yes.
That's perfect. Okay.
As the creative visionary of this project, whose job it was to bring ideas to the table, Frank was thriving.
To put in an additive into soda that will enable the bobbleheads to control the world and all the people.
Okay.
And as the producer of this project, whose job it was to keep the expectations of the production realistic, I was failing.
And then the last thing he goes, look out!
It's perfect.
But all of Tank's suggestions were great, and I couldn't help but dream what they'd look like if we were able to bring them to life. And this is what it's all about. This is why we do it. To allow ourselves to get carried away by the creativity and to figure the rest out later. If the idea was good enough, our problems would take care of themselves. And we knew that making something magical was right within our reach.
This is it right here. The future of New York. Oh shit. All right, this is it right here. In the beginnings of the script.
Yes.
We have the future of New York City cinema.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
I mean, this is gonna be bonkers. Brilliant.
Brilliant. It was this exact moment it hit me that we didn't refer to the screenwriting book even once, and that we really just added a bunch more scenes to a story that didn't have a thread. But before things got away from us, we did something that we probably should have done together before we started this project. We bought tickets to see a movie together. But this wasn't just any movie. This would be a movie played at a movie theater specializing in the playing of classic film noir movies, literally called film noir cinema. Going there to see a film in the same genre would help us fill in the holes of our story. And believe me, there were many holes to be filled.
Really actually think we took a giant step forward and kind of nailing
the demonic bobblehead.
Yeah.
Didn't warn me about the low branch.
While eating pizza before the movie, we had a golden opportunity to discuss some practical details, like how we'd actually try to film a movie about an army of demonic bobbleheads.
Who's fighting for the mouse?
Over there.
But we didn't.
We're here in Brooklyn, New York. It started to drizzle on a Monday night. And it was time to get some inspiration for making the perfect new film noir film. What better place than a film noir cinema here in the Greenpoint section of Brooklyn, New York.
But it turns out that the movie we spent all this time walking to was a foreign language film that was evidently about the ghost of a boy who had returned to inflict revenge on the laundromat employees that molested him as a child. It was a far darker tale than we had intended to make, and it would be a while before we both recovered from how disturbing this movie was.
Final score 5-2.
Mets win?
Mets won, yep.
Fuck yeah.
David Peterson actually pitched well today.
What'd you think of this movie?
To call this film raw is a faux pas.
Any lessons to take away for our film? Just make it better, right?
But yeah, we could do better with a friggin' cell phone and a camera.
All right, that's a wrap.
To be honest, I'm not sure how much we got out of this experience. If anything, all we did was probably piss off the filmmaking gods for mocking a movie that very likely deserved our respect. And witnessing my first movie in theaters since officially embarking on a quest to make one, it reminded me of how much goes into it. And combined with the ominous tone that the night took on, I couldn't help but start to think that we might be headed towards a dark fate ourselves. A fate where so many dreams have gone to die. A place called
Development Hell.
Take care, Frank.
All right,
See ya.
Frank, this message is for you. I'm sorry. Every time you walk by my desk and you ask me when we're gonna get started making this movie, and I say, yeah, next week. And you walk away and say, all right.
All right.
Well, it's not all right, Frank. It'd be easy to blame it on us both being busy, because we are both busy. But, Frank, I gotta be honest with you. It's because I'm scared. I'm scared because if we release any part of this project and people don't like it, I don't know which way forward we would go. But I just want to say, Frank, don't give up on me. Don't give up on us. The problem was, things were going well for each of us, and our skills were both in high demand from other elements of the company.
We got Frank the Tank trying to get into the ring.
And even though Frank and I would cross paths here and there,
We haven't even started this thing, and we already have high drama.
Here we go.
it had been too easy for our movie to take a back seat. But we couldn't allow that to happen anymore. We had to move forward with our art. And also, maybe I had just been overthinking things. Because I'm high. But either way, it would be nice if we got some sort of sign. Movie gods, give us a sign. It had been almost a year since we last filmed anything. This is a perfect spot for the shows. And Frank and I were rusty. But if there was anywhere to bring us back to life, it was Hollywood.
All right.
And even though we wouldn't be filming anything for our movie, it would prove to be a masterclass in getting shit done by the man who built his little hot dog review show into a content empire.
Yes, you're Ken.
And now, It was time to see how the sausage was made.
California, here I come.
And in watching Frank produce his own hot dog show, I recognized the aspects of producing that I needed to start bringing to the table in our attempt at producing the Maltese bobblehead. Things like attention to detail, which would be on full display in the number of times Frank asked me to get B-roll while inside the hot dog stand.
You get all the signs too. You get a lot of the B-roll. You get the menu board, of course.
Cheeseburger, fries.
Frank also doesn't overcomplicate things. He has a vision, he executes it,
I love all these pictures.
and he releases it for the world to enjoy.
Alright, I'll get a one hot dog, 7 $7.99, one corny dog, and no mustard. And let's see, I'll get a small fry.
But the most important thing I've witnessed is Frank's persistence. He doesn't take no for an answer. Like here, even after the restaurant owner rather adamantly asked Frank to stop filming, Frank got his shot. And his salt.
I get some salt. Salt.
If there's one way to show the world the potential of Frank and I coming together to make this movie, maybe it would be this hot dog review.
Raise the apple, it's a home run.
And we'd still have to figure out a different way to making this movie happen.
Oh no, what happened? No, the whatchamacallit, the GoPro went.
Oh, it just went. I think it's overheating.
Well, I'm done with the reviews.
Oh, I thought you were doing the outro.
No, the outro I do after I write.
Oh, okay.
Hot dogging on the road.
Even though we felt the momentum building again, it wasn't yet all Hollywood hot dog dances for me, as I had to get back to produce an episode of The Dave Portnoy Show. And the last time I was this close to Dave with an idea of my own, it didn't go so well.
This is on you, Michelangelo, right?
So I would say so.
I would say so. I would say so.
Rather than making documentaries on yourself, why don't you make sure that I have the stuff I need? And then in your free time, you can make documentaries about yourself.
Yes, okay.
Yes, okay.
And also, unfortunately, just because the tank was set to star in this project didn't mean it was a shoo-in for success. A while back, before my time, when appearing on Barstool's own business pitch show to pitch his digital sports encyclopedia, the tank's dreams were dashed. By the same man who might dash ours.
You need $100,000?
At least.
But you know what? At least Tank gave it his best shot.
All right.
Thank you, Frank.
All right, big man. Welcome to the Dave Portnoy Show with Eddie and Company.
And things here didn't get off to a great start either.
Can I have a coffee or some fucking shit here?
But as I listened, I heard all I needed to hear.
I've never understood when sometimes it's like, hey, do we have approval for this show or that show? It's like, why do you need my approval? Like, do it.
Am I scared that Dave will publicly humiliate me for trying to shoehorn my way into being in front of the camera? Yes. But I'm only doing so because I truly believe that a Barstool movie would be great content that you wouldn't be able to find anywhere else.
Bringing you this network of talented people that are all around you. Go be creative and create stuff. We need people who are unique and you can't find anywhere else and are doing great content.
If only there was a way for us to prove that this would be great content, and for Frank and I both to stay on track.
And then the last thing here, Frank the Tank was very upset about the Jersey or the New Jersey Pizza Bowl. It was a sham, he said.
I saw him say that.
I mean, VIP. I had to pay $3 for a small 10-ounce glass of fucking
Diet Pepsi.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We may have to dig into that.
Frank and I couldn't head back to New York without seeking inspiration from the most hallowed grounds of Hollywood. Maybe immersing ourselves in its aura would give us the spark to know how to finally break out of development hell. So, on the company's last night in Los Angeles, and just before the live Barstool trivia show The Dozen had its Walk of Fame War Championship tournament, Frank and I, with about only 20 minutes to spare, decided to walk the Walk of Stars and to try to see the Hollywood sign. Frank, thoughts?
Well, it's middle of Hollywood, the Chinese theater. I haven't seen many big stars on the Walk of Fame. It's like lesser stars and Bill Cosby. If we can't get inspiration here, I don't know where we can get inspiration.
Exactly. Maybe one day we'll have a film that will be aired at the Academy Awards.
Yes.
This is a statement to our hopeful executive producer, Dave Portnoy. Our intention is to start in HQ3, but end up here at the Academy Awards for a comedy. It'll be funny. It'll be good.
Yep.
I think we got all the tools to do it.
You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll wonder why.
Yes. Can we get a close-up of that?
You'll laugh, you'll cry, and you'll wonder why.
Amazing, amazing. And as we danced amongst the stars, it hit me how much time we had wasted overthinking things. I was already working with a superstar. One whose light far outshone any green light we thought we needed.
Yep. Have a good one.
All right, see you guys around.
We just needed to start something. And when we do, we know our light will shine. The light of a beautiful movie that we will make that will fill the film void at Barstool Sports.
Drop the thing.
Godzilla. And even though we still don't have the finished script, we would persist. Frank and I and the momentum of making our movie would persist.
Oh, it's fine. Of course, the fucking billboard's blocking it.
Sit. I have to zoom in.
Got it.
Yep.
Frank and I were physically at the top of Hollywood.
We made it to the Hollywood sign. A little back here, but you can see
and now it would be time to get there metaphorically. Can you say that one more time?
They'll put our star out here one of these days.
Yeah, they will. But not before Frank finally had a chance to snap his losing streak at the Walk of Fame War Trivia Tournament. You excited for the dozen tonight?
Well, hopefully I do well.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, I'm sorry.
Frank and I had a new energy and a new plan. And if we could execute it, we knew there would be no way Barstool could say no to Tank and I taking things to the next level. Back in New York, and as soon as Frank had successfully protested against the potential lockout of the MLB season, it was time to execute our new plan. We had realized recently that the ride we were on had already been, as the younger kids are saying, a fucking movie. So, what if we turned it into a web series? We would rent out a small movie theater to invite the executives at Barstool to try to get them to say yes to us releasing the behind-the-scenes stuff as a web series, which would increase the likelihood of them eventually saying yes to the film noir movie when it came time in the web series for making that. We just needed to give them a tease. So, despite being sidetracked by another trip, this time in the Windy City, where Tank and I took in a game at Wrigley, filmed another hot dog and soda review, and watched Tank win another dozen tournament, we picked up some props and began filming our teaser trailer.
Look out! Look out! Look out!
And we wouldn't stop filming until we had something that would serve as the climactic end to what we were showing the most important people in the company.
He was a rat, and now he's in a funny paper.
Look out! Look out! You are not going to be surprised.
No.
You're just gonna look and smile. Look out! You have to be more subtle though.
What's the reaction again? Where's the bullet going?
It's in the room, but not near you.
So then I was like, hey, it looks like a crawler, don't it? And she's like, get the fuck out of here. That's the
Look
word.
out!
Oh, fuck, Frank.
Jesus Christ! No!
Look out!
Thank you, Corey. Frank?
Yep.
Here we go.
I was gonna smoke a cigarette?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
awesome.
All right.
That's great.
Look out!
Look out!
Perfect.
All right.
That's great.
And for the movie theater pre-screening, there was only one place we could do it at. Last on the list would be to hand out proper invitations with the favorite movie theater candy of each of the executives.
This is going to be the start of something big. It's going to be something monumental. And that's masterpieces.
Oh!
You ready for something momentous?
I'm ready.
Something creative, something genius?
And even though we waited till the last possible minute to hand these out,
He's a down on his luck private investigator.
Who's incompetent? Just
Okay, I love that.
we were confident.
It's going to win awards. I already know it's going to win awards.
What do you need from me? Why am I being invited to this?
Everyone's being invited.
But first, we invite you to see the first 4 episodes in all their glory on the big screen at the executive pre-screening.
Oh, I'm executive producer. You guys are.
If it gets greenlit, yeah.
I'm down for that.
And finally, an invitation to send to Miami to the man who had been responsible for allowing all of this magic to happen, Mr. David Portnoy. And we were here. The moment where all Tank and I had to do was sit back, relax, and watch the people who would be watching this say yes. Even though most of the people we invited had to say no because we only gave them 2 days' notice on a workday, we were hopeful that Dave would still see it with the QR code we had sent him with his care package.
Alright, is he on his way yet? Or?
And also, importantly, Hank, who had just been elevated to head of development / content greenlighter, would be in attendance.
Hey, Hank, how you feeling? We're out here. We're in Brooklyn. We're getting ready to screen this thing. The excitement is palatable.
I'm nervous. It's got to be good. You know, I'm not just going to greenlight it because I know you, so I'm a little bit nervous, not going to lie.
I was nervous as well, mainly about whether or not Dave got the invitation we FedExed him, and that I wouldn't be able to get my phone back from the Uber that took us to the theater that I had just left it in. But luckily, a last-minute invitee who we had invited to bring the noise arrived.
Movie premiere's here! I'm juiced! I'm psyched! I'm stoned! It's an honor to be here! Let's go!
And just when we needed it most, we got blasted by a cloud of positivity straight from the source. We also strategically invited our company's own movie and TV critic, Ken Jack, from Lights Camera Barstool, who we hoped would see our vision and write positively about it to the masses. The stage was finally set for Frank and I to lead Barstool Sports into its newest golden era. Hank said that he enjoyed the web series and that we could go forward with releasing what we'd made so far, but that he'd need more information before committing to any long-term movie project, which seemed fair. But if Dave just opened the QR code and saw what we had sent him on his invitation, things could change in an instant. Hopefully, he had watched the whole 37-minute video with his favorite snacks and was blown away, and would, within minutes, call us, cut us a check, and catapult us into the production phase of the Maltese bobblehead. Since Tank had to head directly to another Rough and Rowdy, I headed up to my roof alone, to definitely not worry about what Dave would say, but to instead embrace just how far Frank and I had actually already come on this movie-making journey.
All right. All right.
Then I grabbed my phone, which was finally safe back to me from the Uber, to send Frank a congratulatory selfie. And I finally saw what had happened. I sent Dave the wrong brands of snacks.
How about Michelangelo and Frank the Tank? They're doing that masterpiece. He sends you a care package.
Yeah, disgusting care package you sent me.
He produced his show for like the first 20 episodes.
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he got removed because of things like that. Like it's almost like he doesn't just pays no attention to. I mean, he doesn't have to now, but he said there's literally one type of pistachio I've singled out. I've made multiple videos of how disgusting and insulting they are.
These pistachios are fucking disgusting.
And he sent me those. And he sent me normal Cheez-Its. And everyone knows I like reduced fat. So I will not be watching that. You can't disrespect me like that and expect me to show you respect back.
It's tough.
I mean, it almost was so intentionally disrespectful, like that he did it on purpose to catch my attention, but he apologized after. I mean, how do you send me wonderful pistachios? They're the worst, they're gross, they're disgusting. I wouldn't feed them to my worst enemy. I wouldn't feed them to fucking Smitty.
And the worst part of it all is that I think I had lost the Tank's trust.
He likes to reduce fat Cheez-Its. I mean, that's totally incompetent. What the hell, Michael? What the hell? That's totally incompetent. What the hell, Michael? What the hell, Michael? What the hell?
Even though we were told we could go forward with the web series about trying to make a movie, we were very specifically told that the film noir movie we wanted to make
Is there a script?
Will, thank you.
We're working on it.
would not be the one we'd be allowed to make. But maybe there was a reason we couldn't figure out how to finish this script. Like the fact that neither of us had any actual motivation to tell a story of a 1950s detective. No idea for a script, no idea how to move forward, and no positive feelings toward us from Dave whatsoever. And this finally felt like the curtains could be closing. But just before the dawn was darkest, we got a message of positivity straight from the source. Stu Feiner, the world's most legendary sports handicapper and living legend, texted us something that would not only change the prospects of us making a movie, but our lives. Stu was so pleased by what he had saw in the theater
So well done, fabulous, simply fabulous,
that he requested that Frank and I write and produce the story of his life.
And the source, Stu
All right, folks,
Feiner.
let's talk right now. I'm gonna kill your bookmaker.
By teaching himself sports betting at an early age, Stu was able to turn himself from a quiet kid into a content king.
I will take my hand, knock him out.
Stu's story is one about gambling on yourself. And just to walk things back one more time, Dave said that I was removed from his podcast.
He got removed.
But I actually asked to leave after I got reamed out for trying a different camera angle.
Michelangelo's
scooting around.
In other words, I had already been betting on myself. And so had Frank ever since leaving the courthouse.
This is the bottom line.
This is the bottom line.
The bottom line was that we finally had an underdog story we could really relate to.
Oh, hi.
And the part in Stu's story that we were most excited to tell was when, after getting knocked on his ass by the changing of business tides, he rebuilds himself, harnessing the power of the internet and launching himself into a second act at Barstool Sports.
Promises made! Promises delivered!
Tank and I would rebuild our own journey by relying on the sheer entertainment value of Stu the Source Feiner.
Our next contestant is this fat fuck from Farmingdale, Long Island, New York, Stuart Feiner.
A few months back, Stu agreed to be in a cameo in the ongoing, unrelated production of the short mafia movie I'm still making with my dad.
You're out when you're in a pine fucking box.
And in that, Stu gave us his all. And after, the book of his life.
I've been dying to do a fucking movie.
Yeah.
My whole life.
We wanted to take a trip out to Long Island to see just how serious Stu was. So, as a test run, we asked him to be an executive producer this time to help finish the scene we had started a few months back.
What's up, boys?
How you doing?
Good, how about you?
The climactic scene in the Mafia movie would require one last moment where my dad's character seeks vengeance against his associates, including Frank, who will be playing a Mafia member who has a side business as a cannoli reviewing YouTuber. Our big bet was that by latching onto Barstool's most interesting man, we would be able to put together a spark of cinematic magic that would convince first the company, then the entire world that a movie needed to be made. The movie about the life of Stu the Source Feiner.
Aria!
Ready to roll!
Aria!
Let's make a movie!
What's happening?
There he is.
How are you?
I love you.
I love you.
Yeah, let's go.
Love you.
Get in there.
And after my dad explained the origin story of my name without anyone asking,
And my brother, Michelangelo, is my father's brother. Died in World War II.
we were truly ready to roll.
Oscars!
Frank was already feeling good from an edible he ate on the yak earlier that day, but Stu's first act as executive producer got the rest of us on the same page. And in the coming moments, Stu would provide not only the filming location,
Going to Puccinella.
but its most important props. All right, we can't eat them all yet.
You don't eat the... Stu, you can't eat the props.
I didn't eat any of them.
No, Frank, you gotta save some for the review.
So the scene is gonna be Frank's just gonna do an honest cannoli review.
Okay.
He's gonna film that.
Okay.
All right, here we are, Long Island, Massapequa, and we're seeking out the best cannolis.
My dad, after about a minute, will walk into the frame and lunge at Frank. Pull it. That was it. Great. Look out! Fuck! Okay, that was honestly perfect.
The movie stars! Ready to roll, ready to roll, ready to roll!
And Doug's gunshot. Look out! Fuck!
Say, you out of your mind? Remember what Stu said.
Stop. We need the cream.
Oh, love you.
There, guys.
If this scene went well, we could go forward with complete confidence that we could bring Stu's story to life.
Can you please stop? How are we gonna make it look like he died?
This is also what it's all about.
Okay, walk away. Left.
Here we beat it! And Buchanella is a parking lot! It is my boy! Literal!
And this is the crew that we were ready to roll cameras with.
That's a wrap. Woo!
The scene that we had just completed was something to celebrate, even though one person did not agree. That person was the director we've been working with, who couldn't attend this shoot because of a more important shoot he had on the same day. He was pissed we didn't wait, and upon seeing the footage, he made the very astute point that we were lucky to get away with filming that scene without getting arrested. But it was important for us to hear this, because we had finally become self-aware to know that between Tank and I, we didn't possess the technical skills to match the quality of the story we wanted to tell. And that we finally may be at a point where we can't possibly move forward without the full-time help of a real director. And after seeing how he directed my dad, who had no acting experience whatsoever, to take his mafia character to the edge, I knew we had to keep working together.
This is how we make movies!
Corey's been with us since the beginning of this journey.
How's it going?
But he has been tirelessly working on directing beautiful short-form branded content, which includes a travel show starring the Wonton Don and Frank's Trivia Tournament teammates called Rediscovering America. This may have been the most difficult part of the journey so far for both of us. Relinquishing the chance to get to see your name under the directed by banner in the credits. I always wanted that, and I think Frank always wanted that. Everyone wants to be the director, but only Corey can be on this project. And the only way we could actually move forward is if Corey could put up working with us. And that would start by showing him the first scene we had actually completed in nearly 2 years. A scene that stars my parents, my cousin, my friend from work and his dad, Frank the Tank, again in a role where he's a cannoli reviewing mafia member, and Stuart Feiner. A scene where my dad's character seeks vengeance against a far more evil foe than himself.
You going?
I gotta take care of a few things.
The Puntanesca will be on at 8.
I love the Puntanesca, baby.
I know you do.
Don Stulio, thank you. Thank you for seeing me. I'm out. I can't do this anymore. I have to do this for my family.
You're telling me you're out? No one tells me anything. You never tell me anything. You know when you're out? You're out in a pine fucking box.
All right, here we are, Long Island, Massapequa, and we're seeking out the best cannolis. You know, we left a gun, but we're taking the cannolis, and this cannoli's a little different. It's a little softer cannoli. It's more of a zeppole, and with some powdered sugar on it. Kind of like the St. Joseph, kind of like a regular cannoli, and this is going to be the cannoli test.
Where's your honor? Where's your word? You know what Costa Nostra means. You know when you're out? When you're fucking dead.
I told you, I'm fucking out. You son of a bitch! Look out! I'm done! I'm done killing! I'm done killing! I want out!
Don't shoot me! Don't shoot! No, I can give you anything! Anything you want! Don't shoot me! Don't shoot me, you motherfucker! I'm gonna fucking kill you! I'm gonna fuck your mother! You motherfucking scumbag! I'm gonna fuck your wife! You're a fucking dead man!
Frank, what do you want to drink?
Diet Coke would be good.
Diet Coke?
You guys want anything?
It's a big deal.
Bravo!
It's a big deal.
Bravo!
Frank and I couldn't have done it without you guys and the people who have been involved making this. We were really excited about how that scene turned out and how this improved our chances of being able to make a real movie at Barstool Sports. And to help us punch up the script, we'd asked two of the sharpest minds at Barstool.
Love you!
Frank's trivia teammates.
It's the Frankettes.
Yep. And with this director, Corey Rutledge, we will not only
God bless. It's an honor.
sell out theaters, we will not only bring one of these home, but we will all improve our own lives creatively, spiritually, by taking the next year to bring the world ready to roll.
I can't wait, man. I can't wait to see it.
The story of Stu Feiner.
As Joe Pesci once said, thank you. It's an honor.
And thank you, Frank. There were a lot of ways I could try to make it up to Frank for blowing it with the film noir movie he wanted to make, but all I had was this Yoda bobblehead. And finally, it was time to enjoy ourselves for a moment.
He gave up 7 hits. He gave up 2 doubles. He gave up 4 home runs.
Sure? Let's go! Let's go!
Because we knew that Ready to Roll was the movie we were going to make at Barstool Sports. To the Maltese bobblehead and to Ready to Roll, the Stu Feiner story. How do I do this?
No, spin it. The other way.
The other way?
Yes, sir.
Ready to roll!
Ready to roll.
Watch.
No, you have to take it off.
Yeah.
He didn't drink much
You
champagne.
never drank much
apparently.
champagne. Oh my God. You have to keep this in because that's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my fucking life.
Yeah! Ready to win the Academy Awards.
Ready to go, Mom. I love you. I'm dedicated to you.
Ready to roll.
Thank you, Mom.
Ready to roll.
Tanky.
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 Woo! Doug's, can you circle around us?
Sure.
Thank you.
Ready to roll. Ready to roll.
Fucking roll. All right. Okay.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
We'll have to try to get these drones sometime.
I know. It's kind of dark now anyway.
Maybe go to Brooklyn one day.
Yeah. All right. Awesome.
All right, we got to get ready to get to the...
Yeah.
Wait.
My dad's going to drive us to the
I don't want to drink it. Do you want to drink this?
Full name. Stuart, S-T-U-A-R-T, Mitchell Feiner, F-E-I-N-E-R. SMF.
Stuart, sick motherfucker.
When people hear Stu talk about his life,
you know, I invented the industry. I've been doing this since 1980.
It's obvious that it could be a real Hollywood movie.
I was a Stu superfan as a kid. Like, I watched him every Sunday.
And it actually already has been one. With Stu being played by none other than Al Pacino. But now that we had Stu on board, we wanted to dive much deeper into who Stu really is.
You know, the clown is always the fucking saddest person in the room. The funniest guy is always the saddest person.
Right.
I became funny. I became, over the top. I became, because of my insecurities and my inadequacies that have never gone away. Because I've never actually gone through the therapy and said I've actualized. There's always a little piece of me that's very scared.
So, me, Frank, and Stu sat down together for our first pre-production meeting on how to start Stu's movie, while also trying to figure out how to end whatever this project was becoming.
Of course, the Mets. Here's my prediction for the Mets. They're not going to win. They're not going to reach 100 wins. They're going to lose tonight. They're going to get swept by the Braves. They're going to lose two to the Nationals, and then they're going to get swept by the Padres.
But Tank was almost entirely distracted by the oncoming baseball playoffs, and Stu may have actually been too high. But I reminded the boys what was at stake and the risk we were taking, and we together became ready to roll.
Ready to roll! Ready to roll!
Stu had recently started doing stand-up comedy, and he told me of his vision to one day host an epic one-night-only comedy extravaganza at Long Island's fabled Westbury Theater. And that's where the movie of Stu's life would start.
Ready to roll!
Frank, you can definitely do 5 minutes of stand-up, right?
Yeah.
Frank and I first set out to make a movie that was dark.
Frank, I think this is going to be a dark film.
But our journey took us into the light.
It's going to be your night to cement in history your legacy of positivity, and that's the story we want to tell. And we throw in there that Frank's going to be doing stand-up at it.
I went through a lot of insane situations that were catastrophic, that would have cracked most other people, I believe.
The goal would be to film some of the most important scenes of Stu's life and display them on a big screen during Stu's special night. But with the good scenes, our movie would also have to show the bad. Stu, of course, had his own input of themes he wanted to touch on in the movie. And then it all ties back together at the finale at the Westbury Theater.
Ready to roll.
Ready to roll.
Ready to roll.
Ready to roll. Ready to roll.
It's a full circle celebration of Stu.
Just think we'll have like 1,000 the budget and make a much better movie than that movie with Al Pacino.
What do you want to know? I'm gambling again.
That is the goal.
We'd gone in and out of phases of our goals being clear, but it's never been so clear as to what we needed to do now. We needed to close out this project the right way so that we could move on to Stu's story the right way. And there was only one way to do that, by doing another premiere. And this time, we'd need a bigger theater. Our thought process was that if we could demonstrate how dedicated we were to making this happen by showing the web series up until this point, the audience would not allow for a future where the Stu Feiner movie wouldn't get made. But the question was, where would the money to do that come from? In a different Al Pacino movie, his character robbed a bank, desperate for money he needed to do something. We weren't that desperate, but we didn't want to ruin the surprise by asking Barstool for help, and we didn't want to ask Stu for any money, so we took a page out of the playbook of any creative person who believes in their project. We made a video asking our audience to give us the money. Stu, who had believed in us since the beginning, was the perfect man to sell the audience on joining the journey. As a way to deal with the stress of this journey, I also started making candles, and I'd be selling those on our crowdfunding campaign as well. But before we could launch our crowdfunding campaign, we needed a way to generate some buzz. And the solution for that problem was obvious.
Attica, Attica, Attica. You know, one of the most famous movies in the 1970s is Dog Day Afternoon. It was filmed here in Park Slope, and it recounts the true life, crazy day of a guy named Sonny who robbed a bank in Brooklyn so he could pay for his boyfriend's sex change operation. The day turned into a media circus long before there was social media. People gathered on the streets and it turned into a all-day circus. And they made a movie out of it, and it's a classic movie starring Al Pacino. And they filmed it right here on this block. Now, today, there is a hot dog place that named itself after Dog Day Afternoon. It is Dog Day Afternoon, a perfect name for a hot dog place. And it's a taste of Chicago with New York. And this is where we're looking. We're gonna try these dogs and we'll see if these dogs pass the test. As we're raw dogging in Brooklyn. Raw dogging, raw dogging, raw dogging, raw dogging. Let's see how these dogs taste.
Yes. I'm not sure how much progress I've been making as a real movie producer, but goddamn did I feel in control while raw dogging with Frank.
Yeah. All right. Well, I want a one hot dog, plain, nothing on it.
All right, plain dog, or raw dog.
Exactly.
It's gonna be nice and snappy. You okay with that? Snappy meter?
Yeah.
All right. Anything else for you?
One with chili and cheese.
All right. All right, my man.
All right.
That is for you. Thank you so much. Yeah, get cozy wherever. We'll bring it back to you. All right.
All right.
All right. Great having you, Frank. Enjoy.
All right. Get a lot of
Shred.
Yep. Here you go, buddy. You wouldn't have to have a straw, would you?
Yeah, I do. Oh man, thanks so much for coming in.
All right.
Something hit me right in this moment. I had been watching hot dog reviews for the better part of a decade, and now getting to be in one to promote our process of making a movie that included Stu Feiner, my dad, that defied the odds of Dave Portnoy's wrath.
Michelangelo, that's fucking there.
Well, it really all felt like a dream.
raise the apple, it's a home run. And you know, pretty soon, we'll be making our own movie. We're working on masterpieces with Michelangelo. And Michelangelo, he's here. We're going to be premiering masterpieces soon at the Nighthawk Theater, which is a stone's throw away from this fine hot dog establishment, Dog Day Afternoon. And you know, it's all coming together. Everything is coming together, and Masterpieces is going to be a masterpiece.
Yes.
As we get ready to make the first Barstool movie. Raw dogging! Raw dogging! Raw dogging! Raw dogging! Raw dogging! Raw dogging! Raw.
Nice. All right, awesome.
All right.
Yo, man. What are you thinking? How you feeling?
Well, I don't know when the review come out, but it's you'll definitely be pleased by it.
Oh, God, I love it. It's great to have you in, man. It's an honor.
Actually, we are here for a special dog review.
Oh, cool.
Frank and I, for the last year, we've been trying to make a movie, so that's why we're at the movie-themed dog place.
Oh, I love
and we're actually going to Nighthawk Cinema after this to do a tour. Here, we're going to do a premiere in a month, and we'd love for you guys to come.
We would love to come.
This scene would be
Please,
a prominent.
you know, we did a screening of Dog Afternoon twice there, where we made their food.
Oh, nice.
So,
okay.
And you know, we would love to be a part.
The best part of the filmmaking process, the collaborating, was again showing itself. As we had fallen into locking down the sole hot dog provider for the biggest night of our lives.
Nighthawk, 50th anniversary. Get Chino down here. Have Frank there. Man.
Definitely. That was a hot dog day of history.
Oh, yeah, man. People come in all the time that live in the neighborhood. They're like, my father was in the background. My dad's the dude with the sniper rifle. Yeah, I mean, seriously, dude.
And you're on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, man. Hey, look, you can't even make this stuff up.
Maybe one day we could shoot a scene for Stu's movie here.
It's a real honor, man. Thanks so much. What happened to the ketchup and mustard on the wiener?
I raw dog.
Yeah, that's right. When you guys are ready, let me know. I'm gonna have a little joint over here, and I'll bring stuff down.
Okay, cool. Thank you. All right, awesome.
Frank and I had put a lot of thought into choosing the correct theater, because if we were going to be allowed to make a movie, we'd also have to be trusted to be able to show that movie with a proper premiere. And even though Frank was really concerned about how the Mets would play in one of the last games of the season that he had just invited me to go to after this, there was a palpable excitement in the air.
Hello, Brooklyn. What's up, Brooklyn? We're here at the Nighthawk Cinema, and this is where it's happening. Masterpieces. Yes, that's right. Masterpieces is going to premiere here. We're going to show you the films, what we've done so far, and what's coming up. We're going to be doing our movie. We're going to be making Stu's movie. Everything is coming up. Nighthawk Cinema. That's going to be one hell of a premiere night. You want to be there.
Fuck yes.
Ready to roll. Ready to roll. Ready to roll. Ready to roll!
Hi. How you doing?
Hey,
nice to meet you.
Hi.
This is Frank.
Hey, I'm Frank Chanel.
Hey.
We had met up with the events manager, Chanel, who we had a candle prototype for.
This is a prototype. It is
like
a night air is the scent. It's like a fall scent.
And as we made our way to the theater we picked out, we again came to another fork in the road. Would we go with the smaller theater because it was smaller and would be easier to raise the money for? Or would we go with the bigger theater and finally truly believe in the magic we were creating? The choice became not one at all. We had hope on our side. We had Stu on our side. We had an idea for a crowdfunding video that would get us the money we'd need. But Frank and I still had one more shot to get. We still hadn't flown a drone together, and a beautiful sweeping shot of the theater would be completely necessary for the crowdfunding video we were on the verge of launching.
By the way, did you want to talk about movie promoing? Did you see the Smile thing this weekend?
Yes. I was a little nervous that he'd be too distracted by the Mets and by the upcoming horror movie's promotional campaign that was sending creepy paid actors into the stands at sporting events.
I mean, she just stood there like with that.
But we were one final shot away from finishing our crowdfunding video. And if this video was as good as we thought it could be after nailing this drone shot, it'd be time for us to take this journey to new heights. Oh shit. Oh!
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found, was blind, but now I see. Twas grace that taught.
There had been a lot of mistakes along the way, but at this moment, we did feel like we were flying towards the filmmaking future we had envisioned for ourselves. If Tank was able to nail this drone shot, we'd be able to make the crowdfunding video its own masterpiece and make more than enough money to show the web series and to send a storm of Stu Feiner-like proportions out into the entertainment industry. We'd get the resources around us to help turn Barstool Studios into a movie-making machine. All we needed was that drone shot.
I think I hit it. I think I hit something. Oh.
Are we gonna like get in trouble for fucking flying it into a building? Good question.
Was lost, but now I'm found. I'm found. I'm found. Yeah. I was blind, but now
I think it's shot. I think it's fucked.
I was blind, but now I see.
So far, this drone's been a disaster.
The impact of Tank's drone crash was so significant that it wiped all of the media off the memory card. And without the climactic drone shot of the theater for our crowdfunding video, a shot that would have enticed the potential attendees to walk through that door and into film history, the fate of our crowdfunding campaign and Stu's movie that would come after it was in a higher power's hand. Some would say that the only thing less likely than Tank and I making a movie is the Mets succeeding in the playoffs. But if they could pull off a pivotal late season win, it would lift our spirits for our biggest battle ahead. The battle of actually putting ourselves out there. We'd know tomorrow when we launch the campaign if our efforts are appreciated by the audience in the ways we thought they might be. But we couldn't focus on what we couldn't control. What we could control was handing out promotional posters to as many people as we could before the start of the Mets game. And maybe for us and for the Mets, it really could be our year.
What is the size of your strike zone, though? Come on, that was right down the plate! He's the worst hitting catcher in the league. He's the worst defensive catcher in the league. He is the worst player in baseball. He's gonna load it up again. All four! And I will walk 500 Dodgers. I will. Danish cookie today! No doubt about it. Danish cookie! This game's already over. There it is, 2 runs.
We'd soon come to find out that the Mets had no chance of winning that night. Not since the creepy smile movie lady had strolled through the gates of Citi Field that exact night. Maybe we were cursed.
A film series called Masterpieces. Are you serious? Yeah.
But there was still hope that our crowdfunding campaign to rent the theater wouldn't be. I don't think the tank saw it that way.
The drone crash set the tone for this game. Lifeless, dead. Now the Mets are going to be out of first place. They're going to get swept in Atlanta and swept by the Padres next week.
Tank was completely correct about his prediction. But this year's version of the Mets season ending in heartbreak seemed different.
Today is the day the Mets season died. They will not win another game this season. They're going to get swept by the Marlins, swept by the Braves, swept by the Nationals, and then Yu Darvish is going to shut us out twice. Because in the first game, he's only going to throw 27 pitches, a 27-pitch perfect game, and in the next game, he's going to throw 28-pitch perfect game. They don't care. There's no heart, and it's James McCann every day. James McCann.
It also seemed similar to what might happen to us. Putting our heart and soul into something, only to have it ripped out at the last minute. If our fate mirrored the Mets, we might be fucked. But we still had Stu.
Listen, I want to tell you a story. About 2 months back, Frank the Tank and Michelangelo reached out to me and invited me to an exclusive screening of their new series. About what? I had no fucking idea. But I came to understand that it was a series about a grassroots journey that has become trying to make the first film ever at Barstool Sports. And that screening changed my life. Since then, I have come on board as the executive producer of season 2. But first, we want you to join the journey by coming to watch all of season 1 in a New York City theater with us. It's gonna be fucking spectacular! Ready to roll! 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 In order to do this, we need your money. No, 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 no. Yes! No, 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 no. Yes! 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 But listen to what you're gonna get. For a very small fee, you can acquire, no questions asked, a speaking role in our film. Yes! Yes! A speaking role in our film. When we win the Academy Award, you're coming up on stage with us. That's the bottom line. Look! This could be you! Or, if you're a corporation and would like a product placement in our upcoming film, this could be your product! Or, if you want to just come on down with the boys, fuck around on the set, and get an associate producer credit for the fuck of it, well, this can be you! This can be us! This can make your fucking life!
What happened was, I didn't submit any of the whole second half of this project to the higher-ups until the last possible minute. And they correctly pointed out how little sense it made to ask our audience to pay for unproven content which would compete against our own content at the same time of our extremely important Black Friday sales. So, we were told to wrap this project up immediately and just release it all together as one thing. Which wasn't the ending we were hoping for. But in finally having to wrap it up and put an ending on it, it gave us a moment to look at what we had done. We had brought a story to life using visuals, music, graphics, but mostly our hearts on a story of growth. And so we realized that after all of this, we actually did succeed. And we did bring the first ever feature film to Barstool Sports.
When I find my very own peace of mind.